Southeastern Pennsylvania is one of the most rapidly developing parts of the state, long a center for urban development as well as industry. What many people don't realize, though, is that within this region can still be found a creek and watershed system that has sustained much of the primal beauty and wildlife that has existed within it for thousands of years. This is the Pennypack Creek watershed, a system that feeds Pennypack Creek as it runs from its headwaters in Bucks and Montgomery counties through Philadelphia and into the Delaware River. Separated pockets of this graceful, natural environment are used daily by thousands of citizens, young and old, providing a refuge and release from the pressures of daily life. Yet, this system is threatened, and the threat is real. Undeveloped land between and alongside the pockets is sought after for development, and there isn't yet a protected passage through the area. If these open spaces are developed, the result will be increased water pollution, bank erosion, and the loss of habitat and wildlife. Once these remaining unprotected areas are lost, they are lost forever. The time to act to protect the land is now, because the Pennypack system is an irreplaceable resource both to the area and its inhabitants that use it daily.
I've been running in the park, biking in the park for almost 30 years now, and I'm a member of Friends of Pennypack, so this is really, as I say, a great asset for all of us that use it, and there are a number of us that use it all the time.
Well, I like to bring the kids here as often as I can, and I think that having access to this natural space gives them an appreciation for nature that they wouldn't otherwise see.
I never realized that inside the city of Philadelphia was actually a magnificent forest for everybody to enjoy.
I used Pennypack Park my whole life growing up, riding bikes, hanging out with friends, walking the dog. We used to do Tai Chi here at Pennypack Park, and I can't imagine growing up and living in Northeast Philadelphia without Pennypack Park.
It's refreshing to come to a place like Pennypack Trust where I can just enjoy, breathe deeply, enjoy the beautiful open spaces that are here, walk through the woods, and really actually be alone during that time. It just seems so foreign from the development that surrounds this area.
I'm just so thankful, and I so much appreciate the beauty, the rare beauty.
This system used by so many needs to be protected. During times of heavy rainfall, water runoff from developed areas alongside the creek can overwhelm it, causing flooding, soil erosion, stream bank destruction, and the loss of habitat for animals. This flooding also brings pollution into the creek and threatens the quality of drinking water in Philadelphia.
The whole watershed was once a green, natural area. As development occurred, we buried many of the tributaries to our streams. We also paved over the natural land with streets, with pavements, with buildings, with sidewalks, so that rainwater can now no longer infiltrate into the soil and safely run off, but now it's concentrated flow. So it hits the pavement, hits a street. You see a large volume going into those storm drains, which discharge into the creek. So the creek picks up whatever's lying on the land. It could be gasoline, oil, debris, dirt from the streets. It could be dog droppings, it could be a multitude of things. So the creek is now taking large quantities of volume of flow, which tears apart the banks and the beds of a stream.
In response to the threats to the watershed and to reconnect and add to the existing preserved natural areas, the Pennypack Greenway Partnership was formed. Comprised of a growing number of organizations, the partnership aims to preserve the quality of life along the Pennypack, to enhance the recreational opportunities within it, and to create a continuous, preserved greenway from its headwaters to the Delaware.
But essentially the greenway would begin in the headwaters of the Pennypack, sort of hug the banks of the stream, in order to provide access to the stream and also to sort of protect the stream from any kind of building right up against it, and also connect the suburban neighborhoods in the north to the Philadelphia County neighborhoods.
The life of the stream has to have all the way down a corridor for the animals and the fish. And if we're just going to start chopping that up, you're not going to preserve the integrity of the entire watershed. You're just going to have little backyard ponds. People have to look at a creek and a pond as a part of a dynamic system. And we have to look out for the health of the whole thing.
Preservation is critical for this system, not just to provide access for daily use, but also to ensure that many beloved special activities for children, like the Fox Chase Farm Apple Festival, continue to be held. This one-day event held each fall provides urban children with a first-hand experience of farm life.
Well, we hope that the presence of the park and activities like today's Fall Festival really help educate the kids about the natural environment, how we have to all care for it, and it's really part of stewardship for multiple generations.
I'm a big believer the kids should be outside for education. My husband's a teacher, most of my friends are teachers, and I've never seen kids light up like they do when they're out doing this kind of stuff in their backyard. So I think it's really important. It means a lot to me to have my kids grow up here too.
Connecting the entire watershed this way is vital for the preservation of the whole Pennypack system and will help to ensure that the green spaces and protected parks used daily by thousands of people remain natural gems for generations to come.
I do think that it's good for communities to preserve and expand this because it's good for families, good for older people, good for everyone's mental and physical health to have a place like this to go and be able to exercise and enjoy nature.
We're encroaching on nature all over the area, and if we don't keep something like this alive, separate and alive, we'll soon be living on cement and bricks and only cement and bricks.
I think it's essential to be able to have green space, natural green space like this, and to be able to have access for the children in a built-up urban environment like Northeast Philadelphia or Abington.
I mean, I think most people, if you talk about frogs and tadpoles, they all had an experience as a kid and they'll remember it. And I don't know if that experience will be there 50 years from now, unless we preserve not just patches like this, but a continued waterway all the way down from its source to the outlets.
There are so many studies now that sort of point to the importance of green space, especially in urban areas. You know, they talk about, you know, what brings young people to a city, what keeps people staying in a city, and often people point to recreational opportunities, the opportunity to get into